You know what's funny? We live in an era where cars have 10-speed transmissions, turbocharged 3-cylinder engines, and computers that can practically parallel park for you. And yet, some of the most reliable, most indestructible engines ever bolted into a vehicle were built decades ago by a company that was making trucks before most of your grandparents were born. I'm about to say something that's going to make a lot of people in the comments very angry, and I'm completely okay with that. Some of the greatest engines ever built didn't come from Ferrari, they didn't come from Porsche, they came from GMC, and they were built to outlast everything on the road today. If you agree, smash that like button right now. If you disagree, good. Stay for the whole video and then tell me why I'm wrong. Today, we're going back in time. We're talking about the old GMC engines that were genuinely, legitimately built to last forever. And trust me, some of these stories are going to blow your mind. Number 1, the 270 Inline-Six. Let's start in 1941, because this is where GMC's reputation for bulletproof reliability was first cemented. The GMC 270 Inline-Six. This was an overhead valve, cast iron engine that powered GMC's medium and heavy-duty trucks through some of the most brutal working conditions imaginable: logging operations, construction sites, and military duty during World War II. The 270 was the engine inside the legendary GMC CCKW, the deuce-and-a-half six-wheel drive truck that became the backbone of Allied logistics in the war. These engines were not sophisticated, they were not flashy, they had relatively low compression ratios, they breathed easy, and they were built with tolerances that were almost over-engineered for what they needed to do. And that is exactly why they lasted. When an engine is not being pushed to its absolute limit, when there is mechanical headroom built into the design, it just keeps going. Truckers from that era will tell you stories about these engines running well past 200,000 miles with nothing more than regular maintenance. In the 1940s and 50s, that was almost unheard of. Then came the 302 cubic inch Inline-Six, produced from 1952 through 1959. Where the 270 was the World War II workhorse, the 302 was purpose-built for the post-war military, specifically designed for the GMC M135 and M211 2.5-ton trucks. It had a perfect square bore and stroke of 4 inches by 4 inches. And it became legendary among hot rodders too because it delivered serious power for a 6-cylinder and had a block so heavy and robust it could take an absolute beating. The 302 is still a cult engine today, and there are not many engines from the early 1950s you can say that about. Number 2, the GMC V6 and the Twin Six. Now here's where things get really interesting, and this is the engine family that most people completely overlook when they talk about old GMC trucks. In 1960, GMC did something that literally nobody else in the American truck market was doing. While everyone else was putting V8s in their trucks, GMC introduced their own in-house V6 engine. These were 60-degree V6 engines available in displacements of 305, 351, 401, and all the way up to a monstrous 478 cubic inches, one of the largest V6 engines ever produced. And if that wasn't enough, GMC took 2 of the 351 V6 blocks, joined them on a single crankcase and 1 continuous crankshaft, and created the legendary 702 cubic inch Twin Six, a V12 that made 250 horsepower and 585 pound-feet of torque and weighed nearly 1,500 pounds on its own. That thing didn't just pull loads, it moved the earth. Mechanics who worked on these engines in the 60s and 70s will tell you the same thing. You could abuse these V6s in ways that would destroy other engines, and they would just keep pulling. The military used variants of these GMC V6 engines and equipment that had to work in extreme conditions, desert heat, Arctic cold, everything in between. That's not a contract you win by accident. You win it by building something genuinely indestructible. Number 3. The 4.1-liter Inline-Six in the CK trucks. Fast forward to the 1960s through the 1980s, and you have the 250 cubic inch, that is 4.1-liter, Inline-Six that showed up in the CK truck lineup. Now, Chevrolet had this engine too, but GMC trucks running this engine developed a reputation that followed them for decades. This engine was the definition of simplicity. A single carburetor, a simple distributor ignition, an easy-to-access design meant any shade tree mechanic with basic tools could keep it alive. There was nothing exotic about it, nothing complicated. And that was a feature, not a flaw. These trucks with the 4.1-liter Inline-Six are still running today. The secret? Cast iron everything, a long stroke design that favored low-end torque over high revving performance, and an oiling system that kept everything properly lubricated even under hard use. Heat management was excellent because the inline layout did not trap heat the way some V configurations did. These engines ran cool, ran smooth, and ran forever. Number 4, the 6.2-liter diesel. You cannot talk about long-lasting GMC engines without bringing up the 6.2-liter diesel that arrived in 1982. This engine gets overshadowed by its more famous successor, the 6.5-liter, but the 6.2 has a cult following for a very specific reason. This was a clean-sheet diesel design developed by Detroit Diesel, which at the time was a division of General Motors, built specifically for light-duty trucks. It was not adapted from a gasoline engine. It was not a conversion. Detroit Diesel designed it from the ground up as a diesel, and it showed. The engine was naturally aspirated, used indirect fuel injection with a mechanical Stanodyne injection pump, and made a modest 130 to 143 horsepower in civilian trim. The torque ranged from 240 to 257 pound-feet. Now, those power numbers do not sound like much, and they were not. But that was not the point. Because the engine was so understressed in its operation, the internal components barely aged. The block was overbuilt, the compression ratio sat at 21.5 to 1, and because the engine was not making big power numbers, nothing inside it was ever working at the edge of its limits. Number 5, the 454 Big Block. And of course, we cannot end this conversation without talking about the 454. The 7.4-liter big block V8 that GMC offered in their trucks starting in 1973, running all the way through to 2001 in its final Vortec 7400 form. This engine is the stuff of legend for a reason. It debuted in 1970 in performance cars, the Corvette and the Chevelle, but by 1973 it had found its true home, the truck. And that is where it really proved what it was made of. Massive displacement meant it made its power and torque at low engine speeds, which put less stress on the internals during normal operation. The blocks on these engines were thick-walled cast iron. The crankshafts were robust. The cooling system was over-designed for the amount of heat the engine actually produced under normal use. Truck guys who tow will tell you, a 454 pulling a heavy trailer is barely working. It is loafing. It has so much engine relative to the task that it just does not struggle. And an engine that does not struggle does not wear out quickly. GMC trucks powered by the 454 from the 1970s are still being used as working trucks today, not trailer queens. Here's the thing that ties all of these engines together: the 270 Inline-Six, the V6 family, the Twin Six V12, the 4.1-liter, the 6.2-liter diesel, and the 454 cubic inch. None of them were trying to be the most powerful. None of them were trying to win a horsepower war. They were engineered with a singular goal in mind: reliability under sustained real-world use. Modern engines are incredible pieces of technology. The efficiency numbers, the power output per liter, the emissions, all of it is genuinely impressive. But there is a reason the old-timers shake their heads and say they do not build them like they used to. Because for sheer raw keep-it-running-forever durability, those old GMC engineers were operating on a different philosophy. They built engines like they expected them to outlive the truck, and in a lot of cases they did exactly that. That's all for today. If you're into this kind of deep dive on classic trucks and old-school engineering, hit subscribe, because we do this every single week. Drop in the comments which of these engines you think was the greatest of all time. I already know what I think, but I want to hear from you.